Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Emily. Today we're going to be taking a look at my digital reading journal. Now, if you've been here for a few years, you'll know that normally I do a physical reading journal, but when I made mine this year, I was almost completed with it. I added a little too much like ephemera and washi tape, scrapbook paper. It looks beautiful, but it's essentially unusable. I don't know how to explain it other than say like the outsides are like really thick because of everything being like on the edges, and then the middle just like squishes, so it's like this. So trying to write like that just wouldn't work. So after the disappointment that is that reading journal, I did not want to try and make a whole new physical one because that just takes so much time and effort and energy that I just do not have. So I really love using Canva, so I thought to myself, well, why don't I just make a digital reading journal this year? So I started working on it, and the further in I got, the more I absolutely loved it. I love being able to move things around and change things if I need to, and being able to put things on it and seeing if I like it there, or moving it around or changing colors. Like, I love it without it feeling like it's a permanent thing. So I did get Canva Pro, which is I think like $15 a month, but Canva you can use without paying for, but there are going to be parts of Canva that you can't use because it is specifically for people with Canva Pro. So I started off without having the Pro. I've had Pro before, I just didn't have it at the moment, so I made it all without Canva Pro. And it does have watermarks on some of the things that you use, but because I did purchase the Canva Pro, it took it all away for you guys to see. But I think I'll probably keep it because I do use Canva Pro quite a bit, and I really do enjoy journaling and crafting, and this was just like the perfect combination. I can do it on my phone, I can do it on my computer, and it's always with me without the stress of bringing like this book that I could potentially lose. So I am going to film on my computer. I have already done it, so I want to put an apology on here now. You will be able to hear my fan. My computer was struggling. I don't know what the problem was today. And it took forever because I did it as like a slideshow, so you only see one page at a time. But whenever I would hit the next button, it would take forever. So there were like periods of time where I had to like not say anything and wait for it to finally turn to the next page. And so I'm gonna be editing it right after I film this, but I'm hoping that it's gonna turn out okay, so please bear with me. I have had a very long week. If you haven't seen my community post, my grandma is currently suffering with dementia, and we have just been really struggling with her this week. And I don't want to get too much into it, but it's been very exhausting mentally, emotionally, physically, so I don't want to get into it because I don't want to get upset, but it's just been really taking over our lives, me and my family's lives, and I'm just really happy to have you guys and reading to fall into to kind of get away from all the stress. But without further ado, let's jump right into this video. I'm super excited for you guys to see my digital reading journal. Okay, so this is my digital reading journal tour. I apologize if you hear my fan on my computer at any point. It's struggling. I'm struggling. We're all kind of struggling, and we're just gonna have to live with it. This is the only time I can do it. I apologize if you hear any other voices or yelling or anything. My mom and my kids are, of course, home, and it's a Friday night. So we're just gonna get through it and hope for the best. So I decided to have my cover of my journal be like a composition notebook style look, I guess. And I did add like these little things as like stickers, but they're like little pieces from some of my spreads in my reading journal. So we're gonna move on to the first 2-page spread. Unfortunately, I don't know how to do it otherwise, but it only shows 1 page at a time. So in a normal reading journal, you'd probably be able to see these next to each other and it would look a lot better and make more sense. But so the first spread that we are coming across is my 2025 reading goals. It is a 2-page spread, like I said, but one at a time. So for the first one, I have read 150 books, read all 365 days, complete 13 series, DNF because life's too short, and mood read more. On the other side, I have read 50% of books hauled, read 24 physical books, participate in readathons, participate in book clubs, and then I have used audio book subscriptions. Now, currently, technically, right now, I do have two, but I'm going to be getting rid of one soon, so I'll only have the one. But I do want to still count Audible. I'll be counting Everend because I'm going to keep that subscription. And then I do have books on Audible that I own. And then, of course, I'd like to also include my Libby library audiobooks into this. So these are my goals for this year, and these are the ones I'm kind of tracking throughout. So the next couple of spreads are going to be books that kind of correspond with these goals. So as you can see, I have 365 year in pixels. I have every single month with every single day. So for days that I read, I will have filled in with the color brown. And then when I finish a book, I will either have a circle for one book finished that day, a triangle for 2 books finished that day, or a star, which means 3 or more books finished that day. Next, I have my 150 book count. Normally, I set my goal at 100, but I can usually hit that no problem. So I'd like to kind of push myself to read a little bit more. So I have 150, that's my count, and I color the squares black as soon as I finish one. So like I said, I've read 5 books so far this year. The next 2 are part of my 13 completed series in 2025. I usually try to go for the goal of like between 8 to 12, but this year I really want to crack down on getting some of these series read. So 13 is the number we're going for. So far, obviously, I have not finished one, but this is what the 2 spreads look like. If they were laid out, put together, it would look a lot nicer, but this is what it is. Next, I have my 25 and 2025 backlist version. So essentially what I did, because this is another double spread, I took as many books as I could fit on these spreads, and I think there's probably 58 or 60 something, I'm not sure, but the goal is to at least read 25 of them. If I read more, great, but my goal is at least 25 of them. So as you can see, none on this page, but I did end up reading one on the next page. And that, of course, was Lights Out. But essentially what I'll do is I'll fill in and turn the little half circles black once I read that book. Moving on, I have 24 physical books that I would like to get to this year. I have 4 right now on there. I put them on there because these are ones that I'd like to prioritize, but I'm just not 100% sure. So I did leave spots where I can literally just drop the book on top and it'll fit to that size, which is really nice on here. So I, of course, have space to have 24 in total. Then I have my 2024 books hauled. I like to keep track of this. Usually peter off tracking it towards the end of the year, but I think it'll be a lot easier to do it on here since this is my digital reading journal. And so far I have 4 books on here, so not too bad. It would be nice if I could only fill up the pages that I have and try not to go over that. That would be great. So like I said, I have some pages that have nothing on it right now, but that's to be expected. And I see that I need to fix this one, sorry. So the next double page spread is my monthly stats. I am going to be tracking the number of books read, the total number of pages, my average rating, and the number of books hauled for each month. Then, of course, I have the iconic books read with just like the covers, pictures, or whatever. I love seeing all the covers together. It's just something that really appeals to me. So these are the 5 books I've read so far. Spoiler alert. But I am so far having a decent reading month. Then, of course, I have to have a faves of 2025. So far, I have one which is perfect for me. I obviously can't have every book be a favorite, even though I would really love to have that. I am just happy with at least having this many. I would love to have to make another page for these, but we'll see. I have my new release radar, so I have all these releases, not in any kind of order. I just put them in there as the easiest way to do it. But underneath each one is the date that they're supposed to be published. I've kind of played around with the idea that once they're published, maybe I should remove the date. That way I know that they are already out. You guys should let me know if you think that's something I should do. But I think there are like 4 full pages and then 1 extra that I have started. Please feel free to pause this if you want, obviously, if you would like to see some of the books I am really anticipating. Obviously, I'm not going to get to all of these, but it would be really nice to get to a good majority of them. But of course, I, like everyone else, have some like really anticipated ones, so there are a handful of these new releases that I am super excited for and will definitely be getting to, but there's also a handful that I know I probably won't get to this year. But can we just like admire all of the beautiful covers this year? Like every year has tons of beautiful covers, but like these ones are just feeling a little extra this year. And then of course this is all I have. I have space obviously to have more. Whether I will have that many or not, I just want to leave myself room, so that is why there are some empty ones. Next, I have my series tracker. I'm not going to go into this because I have another video that I would like to kind of go more in-depth into these. So I'm just going to like quickly go past them. My computer's struggling, so it's taking a little bit for it to go to the next pages of these. So I'm just going to keep talking. But essentially, yes, I'm going to be doing a video, I think, towards the end of the month, going over all my current series I'm in the middle of. And that's going to be a great time because I know there are just so many and it's very intimidating. I've kind of been going through and, culling ones that I don't think I'm going to be in the mood for anymore. So, yeah, it's been a fun time, but there are still quite a bit that I would like to get to. But unfortunately, I just don't have all the time in the world like I wish. And I did want to say that, this line here, I have it here because these are all the ones I started so far in 2025. I do have some spreads that are for like bigger series or bigger authors that I read a lot of books from. So I do have Sarah J. Maas or Maasverse books. I have one open because I'm hoping that she'll have the next one in her ACOTAR series coming out. But who knows? And then I have my Robin Hobb, and of course, when I read them, I mark them the circle from white to black. I do have Shadowhunters on here. I need to fix the order. Some of these pages are not complete, but I really wanted to get this out. So you're just going to have to forgive me. Like I said, I want to read Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere. I haven't set this one up because I am so undecided on the order of which I should read his books, so I'm kind of doing some more research on that. And then Lexi Blake, she has a whole universe that all her books fit in, and she has this big reading order on her website, but there are so many that I'm afraid I'm going to have 2 pages for her. And then I really want to get back into the Ice Planet Barbarians, but I know that there's like this whole like interconnected world series with these books, so I really need to do some research on this one also. I also wanted to include manga in here. Like I said, this is not complete, but I do have Demon Slayer on here. Now I have read all of them, but I would love to do a reread because I think the final season for the anime is going to be coming out this year. Fingers crossed. And then I have a couple others that I own that I have started reading, and I just want to make sure I'm keeping track of these too because they are all such big series. Moving on, this is where I'm tracking my 3 places where I do get my audiobooks from. So the first one is Libby or the library. So far I have taken out Bury Your Gaze. I do have 3 other audiobooks out. They will go here once I read them, but I just want to make sure that I'm utilizing these 3 places because what's the point of having them if I'm not going to utilize them? I have Everand. I have used this one the most so far this month, which I'm not mad about. This is the one I pay for, so of course I want to be utilizing it. And then I have Audible, which I do currently have the subscription to it, but I'm going to be canceling it because I just don't read enough from the Audible Plus catalog to continue paying the like $15 that I pay each month, and just for a credit that I can normally buy the books cheaper for. So, I'm going to take time away from Audible. If I ever want to come back, obviously I can. But I'm currently reading Malice, obviously, and it is a book that I own. I bought the audiobook, so I, of course, put owned there. But for the majority of this spread, I might have like one book that I don't own that I might get to before my subscription gets canceled. But otherwise, it's just going to be a bunch of the books I own that I need to listen to. Next, I have a book wish list. Now, so far it's only 2 pages. It could grow, it could shrink as I make my way throughout the year and my reading changes, but I have a wish list on here that I just want to keep track of books that, like, while some of them are going to be new releases, some of them are backlist titles. So I just want to make sure that they are still in my line of sight so I can remember them because I don't want to forget them. And the ones that have the P's on them are ones that are pre-ordered, and the ones that I made a little transparent with this little check mark are ones that I have got. So only one so far, and I've pre-ordered 2 on this page. And then the second page, you can see I have pre-ordered 3, and then I do have one open space at the bottom here that nothing has filled it yet. I, of course, have an extra page. Now we have my 2023 BookTube faves. Last year at the beginning of the year, I took all of the BookTubers' favorites from 2023, and I went through and I figured out which ones were mentioned the most, and these were them. And last year, I spent some time reading a couple of them, not as many as I would have liked, but I still want to remember them because clearly this many people enjoyed them. I also feel like I can enjoy them. The ones that have the stars on them are ones that I, of course, have read. And then I have the other ones that I have not read, but I do want to keep track of these because it's just something fun to do. Then I have the 2024 BookTube faves. This one was a little hard to do this year because I had a bunch that were like tied and not enough room, and I only want to do 20 because anything more can get a little overwhelming. So the top 15 are pretty solid, maybe even the top 16, but the last 4 could be interchanged depending on if anyone else that I'm subscribed to shares their favorites of the year. But I think this is pretty set in place now, and I have, of course, already read Bury Your Gaze, and I'm really excited to get to a bunch of these. They all sound amazing. I have a bunch of them already, so I just need to get to them. Then I have my 2025 Buzzword Reading Challenge. The next page is the cover challenge because she's doing the titles and the covers. So I have, for the first month, it's Truth and Lies, which I have already completed by reading Bourbon and Lies. And then with the cover, it's a pattern on the cover. It's really hard to see, but in the background behind the snake, there is a pattern on The River Serpent by Emily Saunders. Then I have Kitty from Spicy Cat's Kindle Reading Challenge. I wanted to use hers, but it didn't look right on the page I was trying to do, so I did redo it and kind of do it with the same colors and vibes and stuff. And then on the next page, I have a place to put the covers for when I finish it, and then if and when I complete one of the prompts, I will just somehow put a check mark on the other page showing that I completed that one. I have Hannah Blackwell's Romantasy Bingo Challenge. It's similar to Spicy Cats. I just kind of redesigned it, but wanted it in here. Didn't like the look of the other one on the page, so I shifted it and made it into a bingo on the page my way. And a place for the photos. I have Kaylani from Kaylani Simply Me's Romance Reader Bingo Board. I have started this one, And this is essentially what's going to happen. The covers are just going to go in place of what the prompt fulfills, just like the other ones. I feel like I've just read more normal romance as opposed to fantasy romance or like paranormal romance recently. So once I get into some of the other books, I'll be able to fill in some of the other bingo boards. Moving on, I have 2 calendars. One of them's for my reading and the other one's for BookTube. So this one, I just wanted to keep track of what books I was reading when and when I finished them. And then this one, I do have Winterween on here because that is the readathon that I am focusing on for this month. So far, everything's looking pretty good. I also want to say, if you can see the lights out cover, there is a heart here. I have that there because it is one of my favorite books. I gave it 5 stars. So anytime you see a heart, that just means that it's a new favorite book. Moving on, we have my BookTube calendar. So these could change. So I don't mind if you see it because everything's bound to change. But like you see, I have my video here, the January TBR, and then I put a check mark because I finished it. Anytime I finish a book, I put the picture here. I am currently filming this on the 10th, so that is why that's there. And I finished a book, and it's the start of Winterween because I'm vlogging this. And then, of course, we have the Malice live show. Anything that's in white is just something that's going on that day, not something I'm necessarily doing or uploading. So here's a sneak peek at kind of like what the rest of January is going to look like for me, hopefully. I have my January TBR cards spread, so you guys will have seen this in my January TBR. I pulled, I think, there's 10 cards here. I have 10 different books. The one that doesn't have one for the Try a Chapter, that's because I have not done the video for that, so I have not found the book yet. So when I do, I will, of course, pop in the winner, I guess, in there. So you can see that I'm not doing too bad on my TBR so far. I really love seeing my cards on here and the books that go with them, and a little check mark whenever I finish them. Of course, I'm going to have other books that do not fit on my TBR, so I wanted to have a page for them. So most of them kind of have a reason for being here, like these 4 right here are all book club books that just didn't get on my TBR, obviously, but these are for other book clubs. I, of course, want to reread Fourth Wing and Iron Flame because Onyx Storm is coming out. Then I have these first 4 books in the second row that are for my Winterween TBR. I have 2 new releases that I'm really excited for. Also, Onyx Storm is a new release. And then I have a bunch of like wintry cover books because Unstuff Your Kindle this month is the cold covers or whatever. So that's kind of like options there. And then the first 4 books in the last row are all audiobooks I have out from the library. So I read Bury Your Gaze, but I have these 3 left still. And then I kind of want to do another try at rereading Throne of Glass because I haven't read this series since 2018 and it's killing me. I want to reread this series so I can reread ACOTAR, and then I only read the first Crescent City book, so I need to read the next 2. And then I have Pros and Cons, which is a continuation of a series. And then Servant of Earth I don't own, but it sounds so good. And I really want to read it, but it's on here because if I, by chance, purchase it this month, then it's on my might be read list. And then here, like I said before, Unstuff Your Kindle has the winter cold covers, so these are all of them. I did add Icebreaker and The Gathering on here because these are 2 books I don't have, but I would like to give a try, so I thought maybe I'd try a chapter of both of those, but I'm not sure yet. And then, of course, like I said, I'm participating in Winterween, so I have Gabby's Instagram post with the prompts on it, and I, of course, checked one off because I read one today. And then to go with it, I had to have a spot to put all the books, so I made this little page. I added some cute, creepy things on here, and I think it looks great, and I am happy that I've already completed one of these. I also really wanted to participate in TBR-a-thon hosted by Leandra from Leandra the TBR Zero, but I just don't have the time to like complete this whole thing. So I decided that I was gonna collect all the puppies on there instead. So one of them's less than 300 pages, one of them's a genre blend, hyped book, D, O, and G in the title, and a favorite trope. So far I've collected 3, and I only need to collect 2 more, and I will be satisfied with that, collecting all the puppers and completing this readathon per se. Then I decided I really like the look of people doing like collages and book reviews this way, so I have done this so far for everyone. I put all the stats and everything on here. I do at least one quote from the book, and then I put whether it's an audiobook, I put where I got it, how I started it and finished it. I gave ratings, the genre, and then of course my review here, and then some pictures and stuff that represent the book in my opinion. So I also have Dead Silence. I thought this one was really fun to make. They were all fun to make, let's be honest. This is my favorite book so far this month, but I believe Malice by John Gwynne is going to be my next favorite, so I am in love with doing these this way. I think they're just so fun to make, and if something is fun and it keeps me wanting to read and like make these collages and just all my thoughts and feelings and everything thrown up on a page, like I don't even know where I'm going with this thought, but I love it. Not my favorite book, by the way. This is the book I just finished today. I love this. I think it pretty much encapsulates like the entire vibe of this book. And then the last thing I'm going to be showing you is my setup for Malice by John Gwynne. I just kind of go through on Canva and find some different like what's the word, like stickers or like art that kind of fits with it, and I find pictures on Pinterest, like down below, and I have the star rating as 5 right now because that's what I'm predicting this is going to be. It could change, but we're just going to leave it like that. So whenever I finish this book, I will of course have the quote and the review put up here. So that's it. That's everything I have being tracked in my digital reading journal. It's a lot, but I love it. I love the chaotic, beautiful mess that it is. And I can't wait for you guys to see what it looks like by the end of the year, because I will definitely be doing an end of the year digital reading journal tour for you guys. This has just been so much fun to put together. It's chaotic, it's beautiful, and it makes me happy. Okay, so that was my digital reading journal. I really hope you enjoyed watching it. I loved putting this together. I really wanted to show you guys what I had done this year as far as a reading journal went, and I am hoping, fingers crossed, that I will be able to show you the end outcome by the end of this year. So if you like this video, like it down below, comment letting me know if you have a reading journal and if it's a physical one or a digital one, and subscribe if you want to. I'd greatly appreciate it, and until my next video, I will see you guys again soon. Bye!